Thank you for watching the Grandma Spotlight. To access more grandma records, go to getinvolvedutah.com and sign up for a free account. The email we are going to look at in this episode is about the Universal Postal Union and the agreement that it has with the U.S. Postal Service and the United States. What exactly is the Universal Postal Union? Let's learn about that first, then we'll get into the email.
The Universal Postal Union, or UPU, exists to coordinate mail delivery between nations. The UPU sets the rates nations may charge for receiving other nations' mail and small parcels, under 4.4 pounds. International mail delivery is complex. It involves a buyer purchasing postage in one country, that country's national post carrying the letter or parcel domestically, before handing it off to another nation's national postal service for delivery. To coordinate these interactions, the UPU was created by an international treaty in 1874. Presently, 192 nations belong to the UPU, which facilitates the flow of 3.8 billion mail pieces globally.
Now that we've learned a little bit about what the Universal Postal Union is, let's look at the fact sheet from their website. This fact sheet tells you much of the same information that is in that video, and then it talks a little bit about some of their goals and their strategies that they're working on. This document can be found on their website, but I'm looking at it right now in my Grandma Request database. And you can get access to this database by going to getinvolvedutah.com and signing up for a free account. This is one example of a document. And if you go to the comments, if you don't see them, you can click this button up here and get a comment. We try to put the sources so you can just click and go directly to the original source. And you can see that we did indeed get this from the Universal Postal Union website. And if you scroll down, you're able to download it. One thing that it talks about in here is that as a United Nations specialized agency, the UPU has a mandate to promote global social economic development and helps its members contribute to the achievement of the UN Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. On their webpage, it says One World, One Postal Network. The Universal Postal Union is a United Nations specialized agency and the postal sector's primary forum for international cooperation. You can look to see who partners with UPU. Another document you can find on their website is the list of organizations that go to the council administration. This is basically the board that oversees UPU and helps make decisions. So you can look at that on our Grandma. It's technically not a Grandma request, but it's in our documentation with this Grandma request. And you can click on the link if you want to go to the original source as well on our website. So the next day, Ricky Hatch emails out to the county clerks and the counties here in Utah and a few others.
Great news! In a last-ditch effort yesterday, the U.S. and UN agreed to continue the Universal Postal Union, or UPU. The reason this is a big deal for election officials in Utah is that if UPU had ended, our military and overseas ballots probably would not have been able to be sent or returned via regular postal service. For example, we would have had to send via DHL, FedEx, etc. Fortunately, Utah, like 21 other states, allows for electronic transmission of ballots, but 29 states do not yet have that option, so it was a bigger deal for them. National Association of Counties has been lobbying for this, and while election mail was only a small part of the entire issue, it's nice to know we have the National Association of Counties going to bat for us back in D.C. Oh, also, FYI, Hawaii has made the decision to be a vote-by-mail state in 2020. Thanks. Ricky Hatch, Weber County Clerk.
Now let's look at exactly what this agreement was. And I bet once we start looking at it, you're going to remember hearing about it. And then we'll talk about what happened and what agreement the United States came to.
The White House says that it'll be beginning the process in Bern, Switzerland today for the United States to withdraw from the Universal Postal Union. That's the global organization that regulates postal prices around the world. The administration says it's particularly frustrated by China and a number of other countries, which are taking advantage, it says, of cut rate prices for shipping into the United States, subsidized shipping into the United States, which they say disadvantages American producers of small goods. These are small packages mostly that they're talking about. The U.S. side is worried here that U.S. exporters are being harmed and U.S. importers are being benefited here. They'd like to change that calculus. They say this is an economic distortion by the Universal Postal Union.
Peter, great to see you. Now, as I understand it, this treaty gives foreign companies kind of a benefit, a better shipping rate than American companies, right?
Right, and let me say that the whole government pushed on this because it's ridiculous. We have a situation now where it costs more to ship a package from Los Angeles to New York than it does from Shanghai to New York, and by a long shot. So what that did under this UPU, the Universal Postal Union system, what it did was disadvantage American shippers, manufacturers, and workers, and it forced the U.S. Postal Service to subsidize this to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. You know, the president took one look at this and said, this is nuts, fix it. We did in Trump time, and today in Switzerland, the State Department officials delivered the news. Now, the news isn't per se that we're getting out of this UPU. We actually wouldn't mind staying in it. What we're doing, most importantly, is self-declaring rates, which means that the Postal Service will henceforth be allowed to collect the full cost of those packages coming in.
So you heard him say that the whole goal was to take away the UN's ability to say how much Postal Service rates are into America and out of America, because it's costing America hundreds of millions of dollars a year. This is the decision that the grammar request was talking about. In this document, and again, you can click on the link in the description, or if you go to my website, getinvolvedutah.com, sign up for a free account, you can access the grammar records, and in this folder, you can also click on the source to go to the original source. But basically what they said is that we would be able to set the rate for our packages. It quotes the Postmaster General, Megan J. Brennan, and she basically says that they negotiated a resolution with the payment system. We are very pleased that the member countries of the Universal Postal Union have reached an agreement that accommodates the concerns of the United States and other countries with that payment system by allowing the Postal Service to self-declare its rates beginning July 2020. Not only did the United States, but other countries were able to start self-declaring their rates so that it wasn't costing them so much money. And then it talks a little bit more about the agreement, and you can obviously go and read this. Another great article to read is from the Red Stack Fulfillment website. It's called What Changes to the Universal Postal Union Treaty Mean for Your Business. It gives a really good background with some links and information on why this treaty is important, how it affects the United States. It focuses mainly on how it affects the U.S. and China, but it has lots of good information. You're welcome to go and read that document. Take this information and have fun learning more about these organizations, their partners, and how it affects our elections.
Access to records are essential for government transparency and accountability. To access a collection of grammar records, sign up for a free account at getinvolvedutah.com. Thank you for watching. Join us again to watch another episode of the Grammar Spotlight.